Every pitmaster has cooked on a Weber product at one time in their career. I'm Charlie McKenna from Lillie's Q. We're really just about real barbecue cooking from the South. Shrimp is very versatile, so I love to cook it. You can fry it, you can grill it, you can broil it. I mean, there's so many different ways that you can use shrimp. First, we got our liquids for the grits. I like to use half and half and heavy cream, a little bit more half and half, as it has a little bit more water content, which helps the grits cook a little bit faster. So we'll get that half and half in there. Amount we need. Set that to the side, then we'll put the heavy cream in there. We're gonna take this and now we'll move it to the Weber kettle. So over here we have the charcoal in the char baskets. I like to concentrate the heat in the char baskets when I'm using any type of pans or pots. At first, I wanna get the cream and half coming to a simmer so that I can whisk the grits in. You like to whisk in the stone ground grits into hot liquid, not just pour it in the beginning and cold. And we'll kind of, as we pour in, we'll whisk. Now we have all the grits incorporated into the liquid. We want the grits to bloom a little bit with the liquid so that they just don't sink to the bottom and start sticking and burning. Now these grits are stone ground grits. They're not your instant kind, so they take a long time to cook. Depending on your heat source, anywhere between an hour and an hour and a half is what we like to do. We like to cook them nice and slow over nice temperate heat. So we'll pull this off the direct coals. We'll put the lid back on for a little bit, and then every few minutes we'll come out, stir these grits around. All right, so the grits are finishing up on the Weber kettle. Now we want to finish the grits off. So I'll just stir these up one last time. You can see they're nice and creamy. So we'll take the butter that we have here. That's the first thing that kind of goes in. I like to use the butter in the grits. Obviously, grits are corn, and corn on the cob, everyone loves like heaping slabs of butter on it. So we kind of play with that same flavor profile. I love to season the grits at the end because sometimes the salt will stop the liquid from getting accepted into the grit. You got a little salt. I'm a huge fan of black pepper. It's one of my favorite spices. Some people don't like how you can see the black pepper specks. I just think it looks more natural that way. All right, so the handle's a little hot still, so I'll still use my gloves, but I'll use them as like a hot pad. We'll stir this around. We'll get the salt and pepper mixed in. We're gonna hold the grits while we get the other items for the shrimp and grit dish ready. First, we're gonna start with heating up the pan a little bit, so we'll put this over the direct heat. We'll grab a little of the olive oil here, toss this oil around to kind of get it warm, and then we'll throw the garlic in. The pan doesn't have to be piping hot when you put in. Right now, the garlic is like bubbling a little bit in there. What we'll do is we'll start to dump in the other products. To stop the garlic from cooking, what I like to do is add the lime juice next. I kind of like to do the liquids first, just so we can get a nice base down in the pan. Do a little liquid smoke. We'll get the hot sauce in there. Now we get a little chili sauce. Gives it a nice bite, little flavor to the sauce. Oregano, little paprika. And then, obviously in Southern cooking, you gotta have a little spice. So we'll put a nice little cayenne chili pepper in there. We bring this to a little simmer over the coals. That way it can start to reduce just a little bit. Now we'll start to add the butter. Got a trusty whisk here. We'll start to stir it around a little bit. So we'll slowly whisk in cubes of butter. So as we whisk this, you can see the sauce lightens up from where the butter melts. It'll be this nice, bright, kind of orange-brown color when we're finished. All right, so now that we've incorporated all the butter, we'll pull this sauce off. All right, so we got the shrimp sauce ready, and we're gonna put a little bit on the shrimp. We're not using it all because some of the sauce will be used for the actual finished dish. We like to get the shrimp mixed around, kind of get that sauce on the outside of each little shrimp. And then what we'll do is we'll start to skewer them so that we can put them back over the coals. What we want to do now is skewer them. You can see here we have the shrimp, the head down to the tail. We've left the tail shell on. Try to skewer right in the middle of the shrimp, and we'll push the tail on first, and then the head piece. We'll skewer this down. As we skewer, we want to make sure that the shrimp are going down so we can get as many shrimp on as possible, but we don't want the shrimp too close together because it'll stop parts of the shrimp from cooking. Shrimp is so versatile. That's one of the reasons I really love cooking it. So we got this tray of shrimp all nicely skewered. Now it's literally just setting directly over the coals. You'll probably hear a little bit of sizzle coming off. You don't need the coals too piping hot because it's shrimp. What you need to realize is most of the time, if something's sticking to the grate, then it's not ready to be flipped. The fish or seafood will release from the grill when it's ready to be flipped. So if you're trying to pull this shrimp up and it's sticking a little bit, what you want to do is just wait a couple more seconds and then try it again. If you feel like something's hotter than the other one, what you can do is rotate when you go to flip. So if this side of the shrimp are cooking a little bit faster, maybe you'll move this to the slower side and you'll move the other one to the fast side. It's a very quick cook. That first side took 2 or 3 minutes. This second side is taking only 2 to 3 minutes. You can see when you look down the middle where we deveined, you can see it's nice and white and it doesn't have any grayish color that you saw from the raw shrimp. Take these shrimp off the grill. We have the shrimp sauce ready to go, and now we have the grilled shrimp, and we'll finish it off with the grits. These are actually stone ground grits from a small farm in South Carolina where I do some boar hunting, but we'll put some in the dish. You can see it's very creamy. There is no cheese in the grits. It's just the natural starches that come from the dried corn that we cook out. Now we go to our shrimp. I kind of like to plate them in like what looks like a little bit of a shrimp flour, right? We kind of lean them on each other. People eat with their eyes first, so we like to plate dishes as beautiful as possible. Then we have our shrimp butter. What we'll do is we take the spoon, drip it on the edge. We'll just drizzle this around. We'll get some pulling up on the pan a little bit on their outside. We'll get a little diced pimentos. Then I like to brighten it up with a little bit of parsley, right? To get that green, nice, beautiful color in it. Then obviously all seafood needs a little bit of lemon juice kind of squeezed on there on top. There we have our nice, beautiful barbecued shrimp and grits. One of my family's favorite recipes. I hope you and your family enjoyed it as well. We don't really cook it for a special occasion, cook it throughout the year. Hope you enjoy it.